And we're live, I think. Yes, looks like we be live. We be jamming. Woo Woo Dude is a guy named Rich. Richie! Yo, Ty, what up, player? Remember that commercial? Don't be a racist. Richie! I don't trust him. Oh, that's just my friend Ty. Yo, Ty, what up, player? His name is Rich. Richie Rich. I don't own any VeChain. No, I don't. Although I don't necessarily think it'll be a bad one. I just don't own any of it. It's I'm into several coins, that I just feel right about them. Just feel right. Silver, $19. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. From Woo Woo Dude. A couple things he doesn't want mentioned yet right now, so I'll make sure I leave those out. But we'll don't let me forget about it. I don't think I will, because I'm going to talk about some stuff he'd mentioned to me recently. But he's been telling me about China, and they think they're slick. They got these little trade deals with some of these other countries, like some certain South American countries that are going to produce the food, sell it to China. They're bypassing the U.S. And he's saying, Woo Woo Dude saying, yeah, China's going to kind of have one thing after another of just, call it bad luck or whatever you want. And for example, the locusts that are all over the damn place right now, you might find that the locusts eat up a bunch of the crops from some of those countries that China made the deal with. And those countries then have to say, sorry, we'd like to send you some food. But our own people are having trouble right now because of the locust problem, or there might be flooding problems, or both of those kind of things. And then when China thinks it's got nothing else to worry about, something else is going to go nail China. They're just going to have bad luck after bad luck, if you want to call it that. And it's not going to be good for them. So, what was it, 2-3 days ago, I was talking about the two different remote viewers teams. One was Courtney Brown, one is the crypto viewing guys. And I mentioned, watch these, I told my Patreon, hey, watch these two videos. One was the iPet Goat thing, and the second one was Courtney Brown's video, which it was public, so people were watching it. And they mentioned some things, and one of them was about like two big ships, maybe a near miss or collision, or one's in front of the other, it won't move, there's some kind of conflict. And then the next scene on their side, this is Courtney Brown's team, was a ship parked at port, and they're offloading these containers, and it has to do with human trafficking, starving humans inside, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So somebody had sent me a Q post. Joe, go look at Q post 1032. It's titled Aircraft and Navy Ship Crashes from April 6, 2018. 2 years ago. And it says, think, Navy ship crashes. Bigger than you know. We are active. Q. So since that time, because it said aircraft and Navy ship crashes, meaning I'm not taking that as a single aircraft and a single Navy ship crash somehow. I'm taking that title as some aircraft and some Navy ship or ships crash. Maybe more than one. That's what it sounds like to me. April 6, 2018. So now the remote viewers are seeing something with ships. Now, Courtney Brown's team didn't necessarily know. Is this the Navy? Is it just a big container ship? Is it just some kind of giant shipping type of a ship? Cargo ship? And then again, another scene of a big ship parked, definitely a cargo ship, and they're pulling off the containers, and basically something to do with trafficking of humans and whatever. They weren't sure if that was the same ship they just saw with the possible collision or the whatever. So then we go to the crypto viewing guys, Dick Algar and the boys, and the one girl, he told me is her name, and they see some kind of ship-to-ship thing going on. And it looks like to them, they think it could be something with China and U.S. related, and it might be something, they're not 100% sure what it is, but just for example, it could be a little skirmish, like, they're blocking our ship from going in international waters over by their land. We get a little too close. They don't like it. They maneuver, I don't know, something. But it was big enough that it should be like newsworthy, major news whatever it is that happens. So that was interesting. And then someone's like, Joe, check this out, man. It's an old Q post. And I thought, wow, how interesting is that? So, I'm going to get into the woo-woo dude stuff because there's just a few little things that I want to talk about that he's mentioning to me when we talked earlier today. He's reminding me about the China thing. Reminding me about that. But he said to me earlier today, this is in the morning, silver, $20, it's coming. Gold, $2,000, it's coming in soon. Great things when that happens. Like Cliff High's got those temporal markers. Gold at $2,000 and silver at $20, which someone had already mentioned right off the bat without me even saying a word. Joe, silver's at $19. Oh, really? Silver price. Let's just take a little peek real quick. Kitco silver, 1878 asking price. Okay. And how about gold? Where's gold at? Just so I have an idea. Gold price, goldprice.org. $1,806 at this moment. So he's saying when you see $20 silver and $2,000 gold, which should be sometime soon, again, no real time frame, just soon, great things are on the horizon. That doesn't necessarily mean great as in, oh, we're going to have a great time tonight. Woohoo! Not that kind of good time. Although there could be for some people, I guess. Great big things are on the horizon. That is a temporal marker for Woo Woo Dude. $20 silver, $2,000 gold. Keeping in mind, when we hit $2,000 gold, that will be the all-time high ever. Because remember last time it got to 19 something. A little over $1,900 or maybe right at 1,900. So he says silver 20, gold 2,000. It's basically like a temporal marker. Should be soon. And great things on the horizon, including despair for some people in countries. Including despair. For example, there's going to be people who are going to lose jobs. And he said to me, the guides are telling me to tell you, Joe, there's going to be people that, even in this country here, that's going to happen to. You won't have to worry about that. You're not going to have to worry about that. You'll actually be okay through this. And I thought, well, that's good to know. It's scary to think about losing, Patreon, job, whatever, like I rely on that, like anyone else relies on their job. So that was nice for me to hear, and I hope a bunch of y'all are included in the kept your job thing, when this starts happening. Yeah, so there's the second part I can't talk about right now. The first part of this, and this is Justice Roberts. Now, there was a Twitter photo floating around where he had a black eye. Oh my God, he's got the Illuminati black eye. And someone said, no, I'm the one that photoshopped that. And then in his own tweet, he said, get ready, this is going to happen next to Justice Roberts. Here's the future, and it shows him with a black eye. In other words, he's one of the Black Eye Club. It's just photoshopped. It didn't happen. However, he did in fact get hospitalized about 2.5 weeks ago. And nobody knew this, apparently. Chief Justice Roberts hospitalized after fall last month, Supreme Court belatedly discloses. Nobody heard about this. Pretty interesting. You'd think if you went to a hospital Somebody, some nurse, somebody would hear something. So I ask, is this just a fake news story because something bigger's coming for old Justice Roberts to step on down? Get on out of here. Trump's going to have to make a new pick. That's my opinion. 65-year-old Justice required stitches and was released the morning following the June 21st incident. He tripped down some stairs or something like that. Was hospitalized overnight last month after becoming dehydrated and falling while exercising. Oh, yeah, that happens. Yeah, that's normal. Or are they gearing you up for something else? Yeah, like him stepping down. So Woo Woo Dude says, the part I can say, Justice Roberts is being offered a way out by the good guys to step down. You saw his latest couple of rulings for the deep state. The bottom line is the deep state has got some dirt on Roberts, as you would expect. And Team Trump, basically, I think, if I understand this right, is going to offer Roberts a way to get out of there. And since you're going to step down, we know you're blackmailed. We're going to make sure we don't really mess with you. So you're going to step down. You'll give some excuse. And don't worry about the dirt they have on you. Don't worry about it. We will then replace you, and we're going to handle business once we replace you. As they were hoping they could do with Roberts. But, of course, Roberts, the deep state, the stuff they have on him. And when what Woo Woo Dude tells me, the stuff they have on him is what he told me. He said, I don't think we should repeat this yet. Okay. But they've got some, if what he's telling me, they've got something pretty big on Justice Roberts. So you've already seen first several days of July. Again, today's the 8th. Woo Woo Dude was telling us first 10 days or so of July are going to be like, hold your breath, some big stuff coming. And again, I don't think we've been disappointed. Ghislaine Maxwell's been nabbed, a couple other pretty big news items that I'm going to tell you about, because I had a dream. I did this video. I did a private video already, unlisted, for my Patreon members. I said, guys, Woo Woo Dude's been working with me. I've been telling him this for a while now. And he's telling me, the spirit guides, they're going to help open me up. And listen to this type of music, this drumming, then this, change it up to that. I'm doing all these things he's telling me. And I'm having dreams a lot. Way more than normal. All kinds of interesting stuff, including a treasure hunt dream about my main treasure site, where we got in finally, and we're in a damn tunnel. That was a really interesting dream. It was cool. It was short but sweet. But I had another dream. So I'm going to tell you that dream in a second, because what I'm about to read you ties in directly into this. Headline from 6abc.com, Action News 6. Teen's Facebook message to mom led to sex trafficking rescue in Chester County, District Attorney says. She was coaxed over there by someone she had known that was 17 years old. Hey, do you want to make a couple dollars? Okay. They go and pick her up, and they traffic her at a house where she's forced to do things, as you know, with men multiple times a day. And, of course, they're making a ton of money off her. She's getting nothing, I guess. Not that she's, upset she's not getting money for this, obviously. And maybe they did give her some pay. I don't know. I've read the story. But the point is, she didn't sign up for that. She wanted to get the hell out of there, and they threatened to kill her. And I want you to listen to these names, because this ties in with my dream like you can't believe. And there's another 18-year-old victim who they were able to help by going and nabbing these guys, plus the 14-year-old. 2 girls. Of the 8 people arrested, 3 were charged with offenses related to the sex trafficking. The other ones were the ones who paid to be with this young girl. They are identified, the 3 are as Dimas Omar Cornejo Hernandez. Listen to these names. Franklin Rivera Mendieta, and also Sabran Sanchez. Okay? Those three names are what? They're Mexican names. That is important to my dream. Before I get to the dream, another one. Again, this is happening from like yesterday to today. This is news from yesterday. Pretty big, things with this trafficking stuff happening all of a sudden. That one I just read you is from today. This one's from yesterday. Containers, you mean shipping containers? Yes. As a matter of fact, yes. Shipping containers. Containers used to torture intercepted today in Holland. Where were these the children? ? There were also other containers used as holding containers. Dutch arrests after discovery of torture chamber in sea containers. So I clicked on the link and looked, and they have a torture chair inside of a shipping container, and the inside of the shipping container has like aluminum foil or something around the whole damn thing, top, bottom, ground, floor, everything, and a little torture chair. So again, they also said there were other containers, shipping containers, used as holding containers. Courtney Brown just talked about that remote viewing session. Now, I don't know that this is the one they even saw, by the way. Because it sounds like they nabbed somebody where, this little story's nothing. They've got containers filled with people, and you're going to hear about it. Oh, no, there's a bunch of people. Here they are. There could be pictures, or a major news story about it. That hasn't happened yet, but geez, I think we're getting close. And then there's this interesting video from MSNBC News. Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates connection. And the dominoes begin to fall, someone says. And then I played the video, which we'll play a little piece of it here. Might as well.
An MIT Media Lab, Gates gave a statement to the Wall Street Journal where he insisted he did not have any business relationship or friendship with Epstein. But new reporting from the New York Times outlines numerous meetings between Gates and Epstein and a conversation with Bill and Melinda Gates' foundation, a connection between their foundation and J.P. Morgan to set up a charitable fund that would financially benefit Epstein. You know what I want to know? Why? Joining me now, one of the New York Times reporters from this story, James B. Stewart, who is also the author of a new book I highly recommend, Deep State, Trump, the FBI, and the Rule of Law. Let's start with this. Gates says, no relationship, nada, nothing. You report these two men met at least 6 times. What does Gates say about that?
Well, I believe that there were more, and he and his spokespeople would not say how many in total they actually met. But this included visits to the mansion, seeing each other in Seattle, flying on Epstein's plane, when we all know Bill Gates has his own $40 million plane. And then, as an investigative reporter, why would Gates say, I had no relationship with him, when, of course, he knows what the facts are? So that always sets off red flags for me.
He also has one of the largest, most established foundations on his own.
Yes.
Why would they ever set up a charitable trust benefiting Jeffrey Epstein?
Well,
what's the explanation?
Not only does he have the world's largest charitable foundation, but one of their primary missions is to help young women in underprivileged countries. Jeffrey Epstein was preying on young women from Eastern Europe, from South Africa, luring them into his web.
Are you hearing what I'm hearing? Live, this was live, when they did it. MSNBC? New York Times has an article on this? Huh. When was this posted? July 7th. Interesting set of things. Some bigger than others. For the first 10 days of July, if I don't mind saying so. MSNBC just did that? And brought up, he has his own charitable foundation, which is supposed to help underprivileged and whatever girls. And he's helping a child pedophile set up hit. And let's not forget, Bill Gates is a groundskeeper on his mansion. Got busted for child pornography charges. Remember that? Years ago. Oh, no, it was him. It was him. Oh, you mean he's the fall guy? It was really Gates. Oh, gotcha. Because that guy, when he got charged, got like a little slap on the wrist. do some community service. Like, it was a minor thing, if I recall. Very minor thing. So, between you and me, I think I'm betting that was Bill Gates with the child stuff. And again, with Woo Woo Dude talking about China, he's been telling me this for a while now. China is going to be dealing with a lot of bad things. They think they escaped the trade deal with the United States, food and stuff. They made trade deals with other countries in South America and elsewhere to get their food. And he says to me, there's going to be a problem with those countries. They're not going to be able to send the food to China. And then China's going to be in a big, big stink. Big problem. They're going to have a lot of hungry people on their hands. So there's this article from when? July 7th, 2020. Biblical locust plagues are currently ravaging crops and threatening livelihoods on 4 continents. And the worst is to come in Southwest Asia. Huh. Interesting. You don't say. Horn of Africa. In the Horn of Africa, second-generation spring swarms are present in northwest Kenya and eastern Ethiopia and parts of Somalia. Breeding continues in eastern and northern Ethiopia and in central and northern Somalia, where hopper bands are present. Most of the swarms in northwest Kenya will migrate northward and cross South Sudan to Sudan, while other swarms will migrate to Ethiopia. Blah, blah, blah. Point being is some of these countries are the countries, I guess, China made some deals with about food and stuff. And they're going to have themselves a little problem getting that food when they need it the most, apparently. So that's what Woo Woo Dude's thinking is going to happen. That's what he's getting for some downloads. Then we have... So I talked to you about this young girl being trafficked and the 3 Mexican last names who were the ones doing it. And now I'm going to tell you about my dream vision, if you will. And this is doing things that Woo Woo Dude's telling me to do at night. Listen to this type of drumming, shamanic music. Go to sleep. If you fall asleep with it on, fine. If not, when you've had enough, just take it off and go to sleep. And I typically wake up at some point, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. It all depends on Ian. And when I go back to bed, that's usually when I have the dreams. So I've been having a lot of dreams lately doing these techniques that he's been teaching me. In this particular one, I woke up going, oh my God, I need to go do this right away. So here's the dream. I am on my computer looking at an adult website and just browsing the different little video clips, you know. When I see one of a Spanish looking man, or darker skinned man. I didn't know at the time, I shouldn't say Spanish then because I didn't know, just darker skin. And clearly an adult man and what looks like a very young girl. And I'm telling myself, that's not 18. That's not 18. Ain't no way. And it's playing. And the first thought that comes into my mind while I'm in my dream state is, she's a young girl. She's maybe 12. And then I thought to myself, thank God I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. I was like, oh, thank God I'm not into this. That's good news, you know. But I'm like, why am I seeing this right now? You know, I'm wondering, why am I sitting here watching this for a few seconds? And then all of a sudden, I fly like a remote view, if you will, in my dream, on location to where this was what happened. So I'm now there, and I'm looking around, and I'm listening to chatter, people. There's just a little bit of people movement and walking and talking. I'm in the jungle somewhere. I can tell immediately I'm in a jungle. And as I look up, I see trees, canopy, like, again, jungle. And then I'm up, even though I'm looking up, there's a platform, probably 20 feet up, of wood with a railing, and there's two guys up there looking down at this, like, I'll call it a giant pit, if you will, of an area. And that's where I am. Now, since I'm there, remote viewing, I guess, if you want to call it that, even though I'm in a dream, I know they can't see me. So I'm able to go anywhere. I can fly in the sky, come back down. Like, I can go and see anything I want. No one knows I'm there. So I'm looking around at this little pit area, and it's a pretty large area. And I see this wooden frame structure, just like you would expect in a jungle, where they're using tree type wood, like not 2x4s. And it's got 4 peak posts or whatever, and it's got like the little roof with like the little hut that they would make out in the living in a village or whatever, those kind of roofings with the little palm and stuff. So if you're flying over in an airplane and you look down, you're mainly going to see the canopies. If by chance you saw the one little area maybe that you could peek through the canopy, you'd only see the top of this roof of this little hut thing, which you might think is normal because it's in the middle of nowhere and there's tribes out there or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So inside this structure, which is wide open, there's no walls. It's just like 4 beams, a roof, and maybe a couple little things. So you can kind of stand anywhere outside and really see right into there. Like if you were under there getting out of the weather or whatever. And that's where this man and this 12-year-old he's basically raping her. And again, this is my dream. And then I realize, yeah, she's definitely a kid. And she does not want any part of this. I can see that clearly. And I look just past them on the other side, like it's a very small building, if you want to call it that. Like if you go to the other side and walk out of it, you're back out in the open, wide open of this pit area. And there was like a fenced in area. I don't recall it being a cage, but more like a big fenced in area where there was this, she was an American girl. I heard everybody speaking Spanish, besides the girl didn't speak any words. But the boy, there was a blonde kid that was maybe 8 to 10 years old behind this like enclosed area. He could not escape. There was also children around his age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, 4 or 5 of them, that were definitely I'll say indigenous to that tribal, whatever this place was out in the middle of nowhere. And I got the sense of knowing, without actually knowing for sure, but I got the sense of knowing that's not going to happen to those kids. They live out here. This is family to them, all these people. That little blonde hair kid, he's an American. So the kids will pick on him and make fun of him, because they're off limits, but he's not, kind of a thing. And then there's this chubbier young kid, American, that was not in that enclosure. And I don't know if they were getting ready to do something with him next. I didn't get that idea. I don't know. But I'll just start, I see him over there to my left. He's like a little more free. That kid, the blonde kid's not. And then I look up, I told you, I saw 2 guys up there, older men, and they all look the same kind of skin color. Like this would have been in an area where everyone knew each other. They all were Spanish. Like this, I don't want to say family, but it was something, it was like, and I look up at the guy. There was 2 guys up there, just monitoring the situation, basically down below, making sure everything's going just fine, almost like he was the boss. Yep, everything's going good. I've done this a million times. I'm just gonna sit up here and watch and whatever. So I look up, even though he's on the right up there, since I'm down below and I'm looking up, he's on the left of me, and the other guy's on the right. And I get the sense that guy I'm looking at on my left, he's the boss. He's the top guy. And I don't recall, I think he might have had tattoos, but I don't know. And he's got his hand up on the guardrail thing up there, the little whatever balcony thing of this wooden platform they built. And I felt like that wooden platform might have been built without just like cutting trees down. Like it might have been certain type of lumber they used for part of that. And I see this like bird of prey just come gliding down and land on his right arm. Like bare skin, just lands, claws, 2 talons, lands right on his arm. And now the bird's looking down there at the guy raping. And the guy that the bird landed on, it's just completely normal for him. He's just standing there, doesn't even pay attention to the bird, even though it landed on his arm. And he's just monitoring, make sure everything's going just as planned. And I'm looking at this bird from a distance because I'm still down in the pit area, just kind of making all these connections. There's a blonde kid, there's this kid, there's the girl, and I look up and then I see the bird come down. Wow, that bird just landed on that guy like nothing. A wild bird. It's like a bird of prey too, like, oh dang. So I was just kind of like, wow, fascinating. And he didn't even care about it, like almost like this happens all the time to him. Huh. And then I see the bird making these nasty kind of these just evil sounds. I mean, like a bird would sound, but just and it would pick up like one of its right legs or whatever, its little talons, and kind of while it was like it was like it's saying something to this guy who's doing the raping, like and doing his little claw, like almost like it was communicating to the guy to keep doing that, or almost like brain controller, just really weird. Like, keep going, don't stop, just evil bird. And I'm looking, so I'm like, I fly up there again, no one knows I'm there. And I'm right in front of the bird, off, just slightly off, about as close as I am to the camera here. And I'm like, looking at this thing, and it's doing its little thing with its claw, and I look at its eyes, and the eyeballs looked different. They didn't look like normal eyes of even a bird. Just something was wrong with them. And then the outer like skin or whatever you want to call it around the eyes were real just like nasty, just weird, deformed kind of. And the bird this was not a nice bird, whatever the hell this thing was. But I got the sense that the guy who it landed on is like the master. And the bird, came down, whatever, and so this guy's powerful, whatever, whatever. So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So then all of a sudden, you need me for something?
That lady June found my dad's mom, and she's still alive, and I'm talking to her on Facebook.
Really?
Yes.
Your dad's mom?
Yes.
She's alive?
She's alive.
How old is she? 80 something?
She must be. Seriously.
Holy cow.
I can't believe it.
Oh my god, my wife, she tried to find her father. She never knew him her whole life. And a couple years ago, she tried to find him and then found out too late. Well, he died several years ago in his 50s. So she never could meet her. She couldn't meet him. So she's like, oh man, dang. But she knew somebody that knew the father or whatever. She just found his mother. She's still alive. So she said, we're talking. Yeah, she didn't know she was alive. So she's like, I just found her. We're talking on Facebook right now. On chat.
Gosh,
so
I can't believe
that's
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
so that's
have to tell
your
you.
no, that's your grandma then.
Grandma for me.
Yeah.
But for the kids,
Their
they
great-grandma.
have a great grandmother.
Yeah. Dang.
It's crazy. She's still alive. I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I could finally get some more information of that side of the family,
Yeah.
Maybe I have other siblings or something.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So back to my story. I'm up close to this bird, and this thing's just evil and nasty. It looks nasty. It sounds nasty. The noises it's making is nasty. The arm movements. It's almost like it's casting a spell on the guy below. Keep going. Keep doing it. And then all of a sudden, I hear the blonde kid who's trapped, stuck in the area he can't escape from, yelling at the chubby kid who escaped and is now running off. Tell President Lopez! Tell President Lopez! And then all of a sudden, I'm like following this kid. Where's he going? He's escaping. And he makes it to this like dirt road away from the jungle. And then all of a sudden, like I'm where he was. He's now gone out of the picture, just gone. And now felt like, am I him now? But I was me. And I'm like, oh, there's a car. Let me ask for help. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, it's completely filled with people. They can't even give me a ride. Never mind. I'll wait for another car. So I continue around this little bend, and I feel like I'm in a church environment, like a Catholic church or something. I see like the cross, the crucifix, and there's like a men's bathroom, a little bathroom sign. There's a cross right there. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta go to the bathroom. and then I wake up. So as soon as I wake up, I basically feel like I get a little download. Go look up right now President Lopez. Look it up. So I go and look up, and I'll do it now, President Lopez. And I did, and then I hit the word news, the news tab on Google. Mexican President Lopez Obrador, which is Mexico's president, vows dignity at Trump's side. Mexico's president uses U.S. visit to tout ties with Trump. So yesterday's when this happened, I woke up and I did what I'm telling you right now. I searched Google and I hit news. And then only thing I saw was fake ass news, mainstream media. Oh, why is the Mexican president flying commercial to go see President Trump? Oh, the president, both sides of both countries are saying a very big thing here. They're wondering what this is about. That's all I got. So I said to myself, oh, that lets me know the president of Mexico is on the mainstream media's shit list, which means he's my kind of guy. He's probably a decent dude who now has to try to fix his country. And he's flying to meet Trump. Oh my God, I said this to my guys in Patreon. I said, because I did a video that's unlisted right now. I said, here's what I think I'm getting. That I think's going to happen. He's going to come over here. Oh yeah, me and the president, we did this, a trade deal. But between you and me, he couldn't talk about if he's flying over here, he's got some serious things to talk about. Because if they use any communication, they would be spied on, period. So, come across the border, my friend. You fly commercial, whatever. Come on over. We're going to have a little chat in a secure room. It made me instantly think of the Navy Admiral, or whatever his title was, about 3 months ago. COVID-19. We're hearing intelligence reports that he did it right on Trump's podium, that the cartels in Mexico are going to try to come across the border and cause a lot of trouble in our country while we're dealing with this. And I'm here to tell you right now, we're going to stop you. You're going to not bring those drugs. We'll stop you from trafficking. He mentioned all these things. And I thought, this ain't got nothing to do with no COVID. They're going to be taking those cartels down. Remember, that's what we thought 3 months ago. And what happened? You hear any stories of the Mexican cartel? No. So what was that guy, the Admiral? I say Admiral, he might have been something else. What was he talking about? Why did he say that? Well, Lopez Obrador, Mexico's president, just came to visit Trump. And I wondered when I had the dream and I did my video, I don't know what they're going to talk about, but I think it's got to do with trafficking. And I think, if I'm a betting man, I said, we might find he goes back to his country. All of a sudden, there's a military operation of epic proportions, U.S. run, to go after the cartels in Mexico. And maybe he'll play his role, Mr. President of Mexico, Lopez Obrador, and say, no, America, we don't need help. We can handle this on our own. And Trump's can say something like, well, they're stealing our children. They're trafficking our children. We can't take it anymore. You've had, all these years to deal with it. You guys have. We're coming in. I'm sorry, we're coming in. We're coming in because this is a war against us. And I know you don't want war against your whole country, do you? We're going to go after the cartels. And then their president will be like, well, no, but to just play his role. Really, it's a wink, wink. Go for it. You got my blessing, Trump. Go get him. In my opinion, that's what I said. It is my opinion from my dream. So I'm thinking about all this and wondering, man, I really wonder what they talked about. Let me show you a video that's only 29 seconds long that was posted a couple hours ago by Donald J. Trump himself, his channel, and or at least whoever's running this channel. President Trump on U.S. and Mexico working together to stop drug trafficking on the southern border. However, listen to Trump's words. Check this out. This is unbelievable.
Our two governments are also in close cooperation to stop the illicit cross-border flow of drugs and guns, cash and contraband, and very importantly, stopping human trafficking. We're forging critical partnerships across also in close cooperation to stop the illicit cross-border flow of drugs and guns, cash and contraband, and very importantly, stopping human trafficking.
And very importantly, the only one he said very importantly, human trafficking. I damn near fell out of my chair. It said, oh my God, I got this in a dream. I didn't want to see that girl going through that. Thank God it was only just a few seconds. And everybody spoke Spanish. The people who were just busted, I read you a minute ago, all three Mexicans running this trafficking pay for sex with this 14-year-old girl. They just busted them. Again, all three were Mexican last names. I think Mexico, through the cartels, have an unbelievably massive, or they are the most massively responsible for trafficking. So when Trump wants to put that wall up, yeah, drugs and other things, I think the biggest one was trafficking. And I believe, since that Mexican president came over here, and Trump just said what he said, I can only hope, because we don't know yet, it hasn't happened yet, we can only hope that we hear about missions, military, which are active right now. He's got control of them, even the reserves. Send them over and clean freaking house. And maybe we'll start to hear, oh my God, there's a shipping container in Mexico. They were taking out, there's human beings inside the containers. Oh my God. I don't know. Remote viewers seem to think that's coming soon. Courtney Brown's team on that one. So I had that experience with that dream. And the funny thing, again, when I saw what he was doing, I'm like telling myself, oh, thank God I didn't like I wasn't interested in watching that. I'm more concerned she doesn't like it. She's very young. I don't think she even wants to be there. And then it dawned on me, oh yeah, they're probably bringing him in from America, kidnapping or whatever you want to call it, however they get them. 800,000 Americans, kids or whatever, go missing every year, they say, which is unbelievable. They bring him down there, and I'm thinking, how valuable is one child to these sickos? Well, they come and make adult videos, upload it for money on the different websites that will accept it, and many of them will accept it. Just check a box. The actors in the scenes are 18, correct? Oh yeah. Check. No, she's actually 12. Okay. Nobody knows. All right, fine. So they're getting paid for adult content videos. They will have people come, like the one I just read you, the 14-year-old, where people are knocking on the door, 4 or 5 guys a day. My turn, here's my money, my turn. They don't even care whether the girl wants to or not. No. My turn. So you have the sickos who want to be with the young girl, and the sickos who are using her as a slave, right? So I got the sense in that dream that adult content, cha-ching, money. Pass her around, cha-ching, more money. Send her off to get adrenochrome from other people, cha-ching, more money. And last but not least, let's take her organs out when we dispose of her and sell the organs off. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. That was the download, if you will, that I put together after just watching just the one scene. I didn't see anything else with those other 3 things I told you about, how they make more money, this, and this. That just came in kind of like when I woke up, oh my God, go search Google for President Lopez. Who the hell's President Lopez? I don't know any Lopez. It sounds like a Spanish name, that's for sure. But the way the kid yelled it sounded like, oh, well, if he can make it to tell Lopez, he'll do something about this. So whoever this President Lopez is, this must be a good guy. And sure enough, the mainstream media is attacking Lopez Obrador Lopez, whatever his last name is, going to meet Trump. They're bashing him. Oh, again, must be a good guy. That's all you have to do. If the mainstream media attacks somebody, they're a good person. Done. Simple. So, again, I wake up and have these thoughts, and oh my God, and then I see this video the next day of Trump. Oh, we had a great meeting. We talked about some trade deals, yeah. But, most importantly, human trafficking. Are you kidding me? And Woo Woo Dude told me, Joe, the guides are going to open you up, son. And by the way, you're going to get what would take people trying to achieve this kind of stuff, it'd take them years. You're going to get this like in months. You're going to rapidly go through this process. And I'm like, well, okay, I want it. I'm ready for it. I accept. Open me up, baby. I'll be my own Woo Woo Dude. Although that name's now taken from Woo Woo Dude. I gave it to him, so I can't take it back. So, what do you think about all that? I mean, and he said, yeah, I gotta plug this thing in. Hang on. Here we go. He said, yeah, you're gonna see things. So I'll tell you guys something he told me, which is, if anyone does this, you could do it yourself. But he says, find like some shamanic drumming, stuff like that, or like source vibrations, things like that. Just find stuff that you say, oh, I like that sound. And he sent me several of them, like on YouTube, just like, oh, he searched for this, and sent it to me. The very first one I clicked, I was like, oh, I really like that one. I really like that one. I don't even care about the rest. So that's what I started with for about 2 weeks. Then he goes, a few days ago, literally like 3 days ago, Joe, the guides are telling me to tell you to now change the song. Find another one you like. It doesn't have to be your favorite, just another one you like. Similar, similar kind of thing. Okay. Well, I happen to have downloaded one quite a while ago. I haven't really been listening to it. Way before I even talked to him, so I thought, looking at it now, like, why the hell did I download that? Maybe I downloaded that so that I could play it now. The guides had me download it, a year ago, and now it's relevant. I need to listen to it now. I thought, because when I listened to it, I was like, oh, I really do like this one too. So the first night of listening to it, I get a treasure dream. And I'd been asking at night, like, can I see anything else in there? Even if it's not the treasure, can I see anything like inside the place, what it looks like? Can I see anything? I would ask that. And then I'd say, well, if you got something that I need to see, whatever it's related to, universe, tell me whatever I need to see right now. Even though I'm asking, like, can I see some treasure stuff, And I get the first night of changing the frequency, if you will, to a second song. I get that dream. And there's this big crack, which I'll share a picture of it with you. There's this big crack, and we are trying to get under everything that we've discovered at this site. And you can see the dirt line here by him. It used to go up this high, and then over to the right. All this was covered. We found some very important rock signatures, if you will, rocks down here. This goes in about a foot, and this is like a white concrete type of stucco thing mix. And there's a line that goes down like this, and then it goes under this like thing that sticks out, and then it goes down 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. And I thought, we need to go under this thing to get into this crack. I think that's what they're telling us, right? So anyways, this crack is one of the most important things for us, period, at our site. And this is my buddy's property I tell you about. Him right here, actually. I've got him covered. So, this crack is in my dream. The surrounding area is different, but that exact crack's in my dream. And I know it when I see it, because I said to my friend in the dream, oh, let's go check on the main site where that crack is. We walk on the back of this property and go up it, and all of a sudden, like I'll show you again, just pretend like this was brittle and like started breaking apart, and all of a sudden there's an archway, and the next thing you know, like the rest of the stuff breaks apart. Holy crap, there's an entrance. It's a tunnel that 2, 3, 4 of us could easily just walk down side by side. Like, no ducking down. It's big enough. And I'm like, oh my God, we're finally in. And I want to say my friend Jason was with me, which I eat lunch with every great once in a while. I've known him since I was quite young, maybe 6th grade. 6th grade, I think, 6th or 7th. And he hasn't been out there yet, but we've talked about one day, hey, you take a week off or so, maybe we'll go out there. He's like, yeah. And I felt like he was in my dream. It was just me and him. And anyway, so then, well, let's go in. We've never got in before, so we walk in, but we didn't have any equipment with us. So I'm like, well, whatever, let's keep going. And it's getting dark and dark, of course, because the only light that's coming in is the opening that just happened. And I look back at it. Okay, there's the opening. We're in about 20 steps or whatever. And then it's like it's getting a little too dark. You can't really see what's in front of us, I don't want to fall off something down a hole or something, So I'm like, all right, this is good enough, But I'm like, we're in. We finally got in. What's at the end of this damn tunnel? What's there? Oh my! And then I wake up. So it's like the guide's telling me, it's still there waiting for you. It ain't going anywhere. Don't worry. We know you're locked down right now. COVID nonsense. It'll be there, and you'll find it when it's right. But here's a little peek of what the tunnel looks like. That's kind of what I got. I'm like, wow, how interesting. And Woo Woo Dude had told me a few other things about it. So then the very next night, as I'm listening to that same new music, the same exact one, for the second time, I get another dream, and that's the dream I just told you about. And then I realized, oh yeah, can I see the rest of the cave? Hey, you mind if I see the rest of the cave? No, we would rather show you something far more important. Oh, what's that? Something about trafficking that's about to be dealt with in the near future. This crap is not going to last much longer. And then I realized, yeah, that's a little more important than what's at the end of the tunnel, my treasure. I'm glad you shared that with me, because I woke up and knew immediately. Look up President Lopez. What the hell is that? Who's Lopez? I don't know any damn Lopez. Oh my God! Oh, that's just part of his last name. Lopez so and so, Abrador Lopez something. Oh, holy crap! And he's Spanish, from Mexico. So I got, and again, where are the cartels? Where do the cartels hang out in Mexico? In the effing jungles. Away from civilization. Now it all makes sense. So they showed me that. And then the next day, which is today, President Trump says, here's what I got with the President of Mexico. Oh, and most importantly, human trafficking. All I'm going to say, number one, to the guides, I thank you again a bunch of times. I thank you again now for working with me and doing this for me. And I always tell them I thank Richard and some other friends, my woo-woo friends, all of them. The same, they've all been an influence in my life somehow or another. So I thank them for that, for them coming into my orbit. And if we see a major takedown of the Mexican cartels, oh my God, rescued children, rescued this. I'm going to go back and watch this video, or the one I did privately for Patreon, where it was just that dream story, and be like, oh my God, they really were talking to me and communicating with me. They gave it to me in a dream, and that dream was more like a vision in the dream, and I could remote view. Now, he had told me, he goes, at some point, you're going to be able to control your dreams. Woo-woo dude. He goes, I want you to reach into your right pocket, pull out a lighter, and just light it. That's your mission to try to accomplish as we go forward with opening you up. When you start having dreams, and I said, well, how am I supposed to remember to do that? Like, do I tell myself that as I go to sleep at night? He goes, no. Since I've already told it to you, it's already in your brain. That's all that matters. So that'll be something to work on. And he said, and once you start to do that, you'll realize I'm not just along for the ride of the dream anymore. I now can go where I want and do what I want, like an out-of-body experience. So in that case, let me go for a little spin. That's what it leads to. So I will say this. In that dream with the Mexican thing in the forest, whatever, in the jungle with the young girl, I watched the video from, again, in my dream state on a laptop or computer or whatever, and I see the one and I start to look at that doesn't look like an adult to me. Next thing I do, I remotely get there in my dream, and now I'm standing on scene at location when it's happening. And then I see the damn bird, and I actually can fly up to him and examine him really close. And man, that's a nasty little bastard. I'm like, I don't like this thing. So I actually had some control, a little bit, because I made the decision. I want to go see with that bird. I need to get closer because I can't. I need to go see this. What the hell is he doing? Moving his hand, his little arm, his little claw like that, his talon, and he's evil ass bird and evil looking, man. And I'm like, damn. So I didn't light a lighter, but I did a couple of things where I kind of controlled it. So anyways, maybe I'm making some progress here. I'm making some progress and quite possibly being shown a future event of them gonna be basically letting me know they're gonna be taken down here in the near future. And again, the next day, Trump comes out and says, "Oh, I just talked to the president of Mexico, and trafficking's the big thing, and we're gonna do something about that." And didn't get real specific. But if the president came over here, and he did, and that thing was released today, that video I showed you, how much time do you think is going to go by from today until maybe something gets done about the trafficking? Well, woo-woo dude. Oh, he sent me the crow. The crow comes in a lot of times for me, like a crow in real life. It is that crack side I just showed you. We saw some crows flying around us there a couple times, and anyways, so that's it. I'm fascinated by all this. It's really interesting. And everything he tells me to do it. Except one thing. He's like, "Joe, you hadn't paid your mortgage in 3 months, right? You did the little COVID thing, yeah." The guides are telling me, call them up and say, take the money and catch up. Pay it off. Pay off what you owe. Get back normal. And don't try, because they called me, actually yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Or maybe it was Monday. And they said, "Oh, we could do a 40-year loan, maybe get a different interest rate. I'll have to send it to the underwriter." And I thought, I plan on paying my house off as soon as I can anyways, but 40-year loan, they'll take the payment way down. Newer interest rate probably be better than what I'm paying now, for sure. Maybe I'll do it. What the hell? So I said, yeah, go for it. And they said, okay, well, the July payment, we're not going to take it. So we're not going to debit the account until I get back to you and see what we can come up with. I said, okay. Woo Dude's like, nope. They pay it, catch up and pay it. There's something fishy here. Like if you miss too many months where they can foreclose on you and past the initial 3 months that the government gave us. He goes, they're telling me to pay it off. And I'm like, yeah, but I might be able to get it cheaper. He goes, doesn't matter. You're going to pay it off anyways with the crypto stuff that you're doing. Don't worry about it. Pay it off. All right. So then a couple days go by. I talked to him this morning. Joe, he's kind of like a little bit of a stern voice. Did you call the mortgage company and pay the damn thing back? No, I was waiting for the lady to call me. Joe, they are telling me to tell you, call them up and pay it off. Like, not the whole thing, but pay what you owe back. The 3 months that you automatically missed, from the COVID. Pay it off. Like, do this soon. Like, I said, all right, as soon as I hang up with you, I'll call. So I called and they, talked to him. All right, here's just a do it remotely. Here's my account number, my bank account. Take the 3 months or whatever, take it out, done. I don't need the 40-year refund, nothing. Just put me back the way it was. Start deducting next month automatically like you had before, and everything's good, caught up. No late stuff. Yep. Okay. So then I text him. All right, I did it. For some reason, his guides were adamant about that. Don't do. He's like, you may find that, well, the first 3 months, that was off okay, but the fourth one, Joe, when they were trying to work the thing with you, now all of a sudden you're technically in default. And now they can actually come get your house and whatever, And I'm thinking, it's July 1st was supposed to be the day everyone started paying their mortgages again. The grace period was over. So he's like, get to July to get it all done right now. So, and he said, he says, he goes, you're listening. They said, well, he goes, you're doing good. You're listening to everything they say. Well, except one thing. You didn't quite trust them fully on that yet. The mortgage. He goes, you got it. He says, look, you just have to trust Spirit. Trust Spirit. He says, I said, but he told me this kind of joke one time. Whenever he makes a mistake, he always goes, he says, I kind of whittle my way out of it, and they just laugh at me because they know. He goes, but I say, well, look, I'm only human. I made a mistake. I'm sorry I didn't listen. He'd say that, and they'd be like crossing their arms, like, all right, we'll let you escape that one, So I told him, I was like, well, tell them when they told me a couple days ago to pay it off, and I did it. Tell them I'm only human, man. I make mistakes. He said they kind of laughed. They looked over at him, in spirit, were like, did you tell him that? Did you tell him that one? He's like, yeah. And they're like, all right, fine. It's kind of a joke. He says that, they laugh. They have, good heart, like on the other side. They joke, He's like, yeah, it's funny. So, since they joke, I thought, well, I'll joke back and tell them I'm only human. So I'm like, all right, I'll call as soon as I hang up. And I was on hold and transfer to this department, transfer to that department. Okay, we'll have so-and-so call you back. It should be today, but if it's not today, call us in the morning. All right, well, the phone rang about an hour later. Yep, here's my bank and the routing number and all that. And, okay, we got it. You're all caught up, and we're back to normal, and it'll get deducted like normally next month, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it's like, because in my mind, the analytical is like, well, but I can get a lower mortgage rate potentially. In 40 years, well, it's even a cheaper payment. Not that I need a cheaper payment, but, well, hell, it's saving money, isn't it? And just when I pay the house off, hopefully soon, with crypto, in the meantime, it'll be cheaper. But he's like, no, there's something to this. You don't want to find out later. What? Oh, now they decide to foreclose on me anyways. Because the 3 months went by. You're now in the 4th month. And you're screwing around in the 4th month, which puts you delinquent. And that one is the breach of the contract because there's no law protecting you like there was for the first 3 months. That kind of thing could potentially happen. He didn't say that, but I'm thinking about it like, yeah, that's probably what could have happened. So, done deal. I got it taken care of. Everything's back to normal. And I'm, at night, I'm a little bit excited as I go to bed because I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen today. Wonder what's going to happen, and sometimes I don't have a dream, but lately I have been having them quite a bit. And this morning I had another one. And wasn't related to anything that I've told you so far, but it was just a different one. And I'd call them and said, hey, I had had this interesting dream this morning, actually. And it's always, like I say, I feed Ian 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning or something. Then I go back to bed. And I also notice sometimes it's not even then when I have the dream, but like after I do the first feeding, like the earliest morning one. After that, Evelyn does hers. So it might be 8 o'clock in the morning or even maybe 7, 8, 9 in the morning. Okay, he's back awake again. Now he's hungry again. She just gets up, feeds him, and takes him downstairs, and I'm upstairs, snoozing still. And to me, I think I think it's sometimes that's when I have my dreams too. not only after I fed Ian, but after she got up and fed him and like left the room. Maybe she made some noise and I kind of woke up a little bit and rolled over and then had my dream. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the spirit guides realizing we need to have you dream, and then as soon as you're done dreaming, immediately wake up or you're going to forget it. So they're waiting to me. Oh, it's 9:30 in the morning. He's about to wake up now. Get him, give him the dream. Okay, he just woke up. Now he can remember it. And I think maybe that's partially could be happening too. So at any rate, yeah, so I'm just going through some interesting stuff, and I look forward to this because this is very weird. It's odd. It's totally woo-woo, and I'm that kind of woo-woo guy, That's me. So anything new from Woo Woo Dude on cryptos? Yeah, actually, he was saying a couple weeks ago, he's like, yeah, get ready. One of your cups is going to fill again, It could be Digibyte again, but it might be another one, So we saw a nice rally a little bit yesterday and today. And I'll say this, I haven't said this yet. I don't know that I was going to, but I was like, whatever. And he was telling me, he's like, that technique that I told you when you look into the mirror, you need to do the protection thing properly, ask your guides, this, yeah. He goes, well, you just, basically, you have a pendulum. I've heard you say, yeah, I do have one. He goes, do you say that similar kind of thing when you do the pendulum? I said, no, I just pull the pendulum up, show me yes, show me no, and then start asking questions. He goes, no, you've got to say the same thing and then do it. And still ask for yes or no to show you initially. All right. So the first time I do that the proper way, which was last night, the market was up a little bit yesterday, and I'm looking at Digibyte, and we've got a number we're all looking for, and it actually hit the number like 3 times already. But people in Patreon were like, are we selling right at that number? And I'm like, Woo Dude thinks we're going a little higher than that. I don't know how much higher, but he thinks we're going to go over that this time. So I said, I don't know that I think I'm going to go a little bit higher. So it got close. It did hit the number we were initially talking about getting out at, and we would have been profitable, but I was like, no. So I decided, let me do what he said. I'll ask my pendulum. And I'm asking it, tomorrow, last night, tomorrow, is this crypto going to be higher than it was today? Yes. It says yes. Okay. How about this crypto? Is it going to be higher than today? Yeah. Yes. How about that one? Yes. How about that one? Yes. Okay. Is this thing really working? Is it all yes? So I said, generally speaking, on all these cryptos that I hold right here, this, the screen, are they all pretty much, generally going to be higher than they are today? Yes. Every one of these, really? Okay. All right. And then I said, since you've told me yes a bunch of times, can you just show me a no? Boom, no. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll wake up today. Oh, that one's higher than yesterday. That one's higher. Oh, they're all higher. Son of a bitch. They're all higher than they were yesterday. So I asked it a few questions about Theta, price points, Digibyte, and Chainlink, I think. Oh, Chainlink? No, not Chain. I did ask Chainlink because I was like, should I get out? And then XLM, Stellar. I was like, should I get out of Stellar at right around this price right now? And it was like, yes. And should I get back in here? No. Should I get back in here? No. Should I get back in here? Yes. Oh, that low. Okay. All right. So I just took notes. Okay. And then I was like, all right, what about Chainlink? Is it going higher than it is today? Yes. Should I sell it when it goes a little higher? No. So it's going to go higher even more, like throughout the month? Or, I don't know what I asked it. I just said, it basically said don't sell, like, don't mess with Chainlink right now. Let it, like, it's going to do something. Don't sell it, like, at all. Don't try to get in and get out. Like, I think Chainlink's maybe do some crazy stuff this I don't know about this week or this month, whatever. So I thought, well, okay, that's interesting. What about Digibyte? Yeah, okay, this price, is that a good range? Yeah, it said that. So, yeah, a little bit above our price that we initially thought. Then get back in over here, and it was like, yeah. So it kind of was in line with what Woo Woo Dude was telling me. Anyway, so, anyways, I'm doing this and messing around and seeing what's going to happen. And so far, so good. But, yeah, crypto market's going to definitely make some moves soon. There's going to be plenty of opportunity to get in and get out a few times again, just like he's been telling me. And he goes, Joe, today. He goes, Joe, he goes, what the hell? He goes, what the hell was that? He goes, they threw a chicken at my face. They like just threw a chicken, at my face. And there's like, they're telling me like to you, chicken shit. Don't be a chicken shit. Don't be chicken to trade. Get in and get out. We want you to get that house paid off, basically. Don't be worried about getting in and getting out. Don't be chicken. So he's like, they threw it at my face to tell you that. I'm like, oh God, that's funny. So, anyways, this free YouTube rant is 2 sucker idiots into subscribing to Patreon. I greatly enjoy the hope for change. No, I have limits on my Patreon, and once they're filled, they're done. And I think some of them a couple of the ones are almost at their full spot. It's not about getting people on Patreon. I have plenty in Patreon. I don't need, because that's the thing. If I come out here and try to sucker you into my Patreon, that would mean I'm playing on your greed. And I want you to hear how successful we're going to be. So come make money. And that greed will pull you over. The greedy people actually aren't the kind of people I want hanging out in my Patreon. So it's kind of like counterintuitive for me to do that. If that makes any sense. What else we got? Browser prepared. What we do? I see. What we do with the chickens? JC's in there. Makes perfect sense. Badow. Nothing new on that right now. Nothing new. If they never sell out of their ICO, which they may never. I think November is when it gets their ICO ends, and then it's just a matter of what exchanges they get put on or whatever. And of course, people can make their mind. Do you want to sell right away on the initial potentially pump? You know how they pump a lot right off the bat, or are you going to wait it out a bit? Some of my woo-woo people think. I think 3 of them said it looks like it will do well. It may not be the best, but it will do well. And again, that's all that matters. I mean, maybe something does a 50x. This one only did a 20. Oh gosh, I'm so upset. That kind of a thing. Rocco Reed, you'd have to send me that. I had a decent amount in Chainlink. It wasn't one of my top holdings, but I had a decent amount, I have a decent amount in Chainlink. I did a little, what was it? Stellar Digibyte. And then Theta, yeah. So let me pull it up. Yeah, I do have. I haven't touched my Chainlink because I get out like this little pendulum thing was like, no, don't mess with Chainlink right now. Just leave it alone. So don't sell it. No, don't. Okay. How about this one? Yeah, you could do that. So I was like, okay. So, Stellar Lumens, Digibyte, currently 2.19 cents. It did touch that 2.3, and that 2.3 was the price we sold at last time, and that was the trigger anyways. And I was able to get it, I think, at 2.34. So 2.34 cents was my average. I got a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and that was, I think, what I got on that one. And then when it went down to 1.8, in between 1.8 and 1.9, I averaged in there and got some more, and then bought back in. So that's the last thing I've done. So I thought, I was talking to Woo Dude, well, do we get back out at 2.3 again? And he goes, no, I'm sensing it's going to go a bit higher than that this time around. And by the way, when it comes back down, it's not going back down to some of those levels you might be wanting to get back in like you did last time. It won't be that low. So there'll be a new floor that's higher, and you'll just start it over there again. And I thought, well, okay. So, he's given us this stuff, and I've posted in Patreon, but I do think Digibytes is going to be one hell of an epic coin at some point. It's going to probably be what Sharon Michelle had told us all those years ago. 2 years ago. And for those who never heard the story, she was doing a channeling session on different cryptos, and she did one on Digibyte, and she would be shown different imagery. And I'll give you an example. Someone had asked her about Veritasium, and she said this was before the whole thing with Reggie Middleton and the Security Exchange Commission, which really, when that news broke, they're going after him. Oh, the thing tanked. This was before that all happened. She said, oh, I feel like I'm staring down a well and watching my money just like go down, like I can't get it. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound good for Veritasium. Wow. And then that happened, and now look at Veritasium. So, before that, she had said Digibyte, slow and steady, a big bulldozer, clearing out a small area that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and no one's really paying attention. It's just working on its own over here, doing its own thing. No one really cares. No one's really paying attention. And finally, people start noticing, like, wow, they've got a lot of shit done over there. They've cleared a lot of that field out. That's huge. And when it was all finalized and done, it went to the center of the work area, the bulldozer, and turned into a golden bulldozer, like a big brick, big gold bulldozer, pure gold. Like, job is done, Mr. Service Manager. Job is done. Gold brick. And then everyone was like, oh, snap. Let's look what they've done. Holy crap, look at this work they've done. And that's kind of, if you're paying attention to Digibyte on Twitter, especially, they're making things happen, man. They're making things happen. They got finally on Binance. Next is probably Coinbase. And again, that could be any day now. Maybe the next pump in Digibyte is going to be because it got listed on Coinbase. Coinbase said we're looking at the following cryptos to add them. And if they do, great. Of course, it'll be another thing that pushes the price up a bit, I would imagine, being listed on Coinbase to some extent. Who knows what it'll be, but big prices for Digibyte that her and Michelle White Dove got were between $9 and $12 per Digibyte at some point. It might be 4 years from now. It might be 3 years from now. I don't know. This thing is 2 cents right now, 2.2 cents. And I'm over here trying to do what Woo Dude said, tell me, get out over here, get back in over there. Joe, you're going to have many times to do this. Okay, if you say so, Spirit Guides say so, okay, let's do it. So, we'll see what happens. I'm going to see what happens. So, that's it. That's all I can say right now. Yeah, SL369 crypto Twitter on Bitcoin Black. It's funny because some of the psychics think Bitcoin Black is going to be okay. Some of them think it's basically a shitcoin. Very conflicting for some of them. I'm like, well, I don't feel I have a need to mess with it or go, again, I feel like I'm in the right coins. And, just look at the chart right here. You can see these are all opportunities. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Now, granted, it's easy to look back and say, oh, yeah. But even if you only did this once here, okay, I got in here and I was able to get out here. Now I'm waiting for the next setup. And you miss a few, whatever. And then you get the next setup and you do it again. And you're just adding money or stablecoin profit over here while playing with the same amount of the crypto over there and doing the same thing over and over again. So if you had 1 million Digibyte and you're playing this game over and over and over again and you're adding $5,000, $10,000 in profit, oh, here we go. Set that aside. Don't add more Digibyte and play with that. No, keep your profit over here. Get the 1 million Digibyte again. Oh, the price dropped down, so take the funding you need to get 1 million again and play it. And since the price went down when you got back in, well, you should have profit still sitting over there in your stablecoin. That's what we're trying to do. And so far, so good, but we just kind of got started recently. And I'm waiting for some more moves. So even Theta, like Theta's got the 25, or was it 26 today? I think I might have touched 26. Yeah, it did. Got up to 26 and a little slightly over, rounding error, over 26 cents. And it's currently 24, so there's 2 pennies there. But it's the same thing, you know. I want these things to go up, get out. Woo dude says the spirit guides want me to pay my house off. Okay, I'm all for that. You want me to do it, and you're going to help me do it. That's great. And if I can help some of the other people, tell them what I'm doing in Patreon, and here's what Woo dude told me. Hey, let's do it. You know, do it together. See what happens. But again, don't be trading your whole bag. Never trade your whole bag, people. Never gamble and bet more than you can afford to lose. Because that's when it gets painful. And that's when you say, oh, I got to jump back in. The price is higher. That was a bad move. I got to get in. Now I'm getting less than what I had before because you FOMO'd in. You make a stupid decision to FOMO when you have too much on the line. That's when you start getting too nervous. That's why you got to play with what you can afford to play with. Now, I have been known from time to time, you know, to get a little crazy. But that's me, and I don't recommend that. Because you can get wrecked. So, anyways, yeah, I'll just want to mention one more time. Woo Woo Dude says, watch silver hit $20. Gold hit $2,000. It's coming soon. And that's kind of a temporal marker for really big things, great things on the horizon. And again, the word great doesn't necessarily mean, oh, peaches and rainbows and, you know, unicorns. Big things on the horizon, including despair for some people. Job losses for a lot of people. You know, this goes across the planet, not just America. So, you know, be prepared, I guess. But, you know, we gotta live our lives and do stuff. So, in the meantime, if I can make a couple extra bucks on some of these trades, you know, great, man. That'll be freaking fantastic. I'm over here watching these houses. Like, I got a few houses saved on Zillow out in New Mexico, and I'm like, oh, you know, just to see if they ever sell or do the price comes down, whatever. So I get this notification. And, oh, this house dropped like, you know, big double digits. And the house was only, I think, $100 and something thousand to begin with. And like, oh, it's been on Zillow for quite a while. And they just dropped it like, again, not a small double digit. Kind of a large double digit. I was like, what the... Somebody's freaking desperate. That was a huge drop in price. I mean, significant. So again, my mind's like, well, I kind of like that property. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, but it's got a nice big outbuildings, a couple of them. It's by this little stream or river thing. But I'm like, it's still not right. Time's not right yet. Not yet. I can't be looking at other houses when Spirit Guide want me to pay off my first house. You know, and I'm sure the last thing Woo Woo Dude wants to hear is, oh, you know, I was able to build up, you know, $150,000 in my trading bag profit. And I still have all my crypto, like you said. And that house is like $160. I think I'm going to go buy a second house. He's going to say, no, Joe, they told you they wanted you to get the money ready for your main house. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Boy can dream, can he? A boy can dream, can he? So who knows? But I couldn't believe that size drop. It was big, and again, it wasn't an expensive house to begin with. Somebody's desperate. So if that person's desperate, and I've been noticing as I play around on Zillow, that one dropped 5,000, that one dropped 10,000, 4% drop, and they're all within like the last month. Oop, boop, 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 and you can see the history. Price drop, listed, this, and there's like a period of time where it just stayed at that price, no activity, and then all of a sudden comes June 2020 and 4% drop, 5% drop, 10,000 drop, 6,000 drop, 4,000 drop. This is letting you know what we thought, what we talked about when Corona first hit. All those Airbnb people too, who bought multiple houses on mortgage, on debt, and now no one will come to their houses, and they have all these bills due. They are selling like crazy, right? So, housing market, you would think, again, like we said, it's probably going to come down. People are going to get desperate too. So, what about these people if, you know, as Woo Dude said, some people are going to experience some despair. When you see $20 silver and 2,000 gold, that's a precursor for great events on the horizon coming, including despair. So, yeah, maybe some good events, oh, some arrests, some this and that, but also, oh crap, uh-oh, that's bad news. And I want to mention one last thing before I close this out. And I'd already mentioned this before, but he said he got it again. Joe, I got a new vision. Woo, dude. He said, you know, when we first started talking, we were talking about the coronavirus and stuff. Yeah. He goes, and he said, my guide showed me you capturing like a little lizard, a little chameleon. And you caught it. You're like, oh. And you're like, oh, look what I got. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what... It looks different. It changed colors on me. Hey. He goes, that's what they're kind of showing me regarding this virus stuff. And I thought, huh. Okay. So, he says now, as we move September, October, November kind of a time frame, August, September, October-ish, somewhere around there, he goes, that chameleon has now turned into like a monitor lizard. And it's a whole different animal. He goes, they're telling me again to tell you, get more face masks. Everybody's going to have to wear these things later in the year because of what they're going to do. And get hand sanitizer too. I'm like, the last time he told me that, he said, get the little junky, cheap, cloth masks. I'm like, but I have N95s that we've had for a few years now in a box. Maybe 100 of them. And he goes, no, you don't want the hard to breathe through ones. You just want the basic ones. I'm like, what? The guides are telling you to tell me this. He goes, yeah. Go ahead and get some. I'm like, okay. So I ordered some on Amazon. They come in, and like within 2 days or so, Hillsborough County mask mandate. Everyone has to wear a mask inside of all businesses. Oh, and by the way, there's a major dust storm coming that's going to be in Florida and around the Gulf of Mexico from the Sahara Desert. But when that came through, none of us are affected. We're not on the coast. It's usually on the coast only. And I thought, well, I thought maybe that's why they wanted me to get the masks. And then Hillsborough County, oh no, everyone has to wear a mask now. Can't go shopping, can't do nothing, you gotta have a mask. And any little cloth cheap junky one is fine. Aha! That's why they wanted me to get the mask. So he's telling me again, he told me this today, later in this year, it may not be Corona 2.0. It may be something else 1.0. Or it could be Corona 3.0. I don't know. But he said that little example of the chameleon lizard, and you flip it, oh, look what I got. Oh, it changed on me. That was for the first one, Corona. Now it's turned into a large monitor lizard. Something wicked comes this way. You're going to need more masks. And he said, I'm not sure why, but they're telling me also get hand sanitizer. Kills 99.99, grab a few bottles of that stuff. You're going to need those then. You're going to need that too. Huh. That sounds like the real deal might be coming. To me. And I thought, well, imagine if these sick-ass bastards created their own vaccine, that's a real vaccine that works, for themselves. Oh, you didn't like our coronavirus? You didn't like how we tried to put one over you on you with that? What did Bill Gates say the other day with Melinda Gates right next to him? Oh, well, the next one. That's the one people are going to have to worry about. And he got this big shit-eating grin smile, and his husband or wife named Melinda does this evil smile with him. Oh, the next one, people are... Whoa, what's he talking about? What next one? Like, this is the one you didn't have to worry about. This was the nonsensical one. The next one you're going to have to worry about. Did they vaccinate themselves? So they could walk amongst us and not ever worry? And the rest of us will have to worry? I don't know. But you need to be prepared for that. So, I just had to mention that on my way out, because it came in. And keep that in mind, this chameleon now changes to a giant monitor lizard. It completely shifted form. That means it's bigger, badder, worse than whatever we've been dealing with. And he's saying you need more masks. Everyone's going to have to wear those damn things. Watch. And get the bacteria stuff. All right. Antibacterial. So, I know the mask sucks. I hate wearing them. But I will say this. If anything, buy the washable ones. That has a little design on it or whatever. You know. And even if it's black and you poke little tiny holes, even bigger holes in it. Do you think anybody is ever going to walk up to you and be this close to you? Hey man, you got little holes in there? No. They don't want to get near you. You might have corona. They might have corona. Oh, I'm saying 6 feet, sir. 6 feet, man. So, you know, if you're having a hard time breathing, and I heard the first accident victim happened today. They passed out in their car because they had a mask on, lost consciousness, and crashed into like a tree or a pole or something. I don't think they died. I don't believe, but first major accident. So it's going to be real interesting to see how all this stuff goes. But Woo Dude's telling me, if you think July is interesting, and it is, wait till we get closer and closer to the election. It's just going to get a little bit worse, And yeah, there'll be some big things, maybe some arrests and things like, yeah, big news. But bad news too. So be prepared for it. And on that note, I'm out of here.